Welcome to the final deck, lesson 59 of 60, and the close of our 8-stage journey through IT networking. Today we tackle observability, the discipline of seeing your network clearly through NetFlow, SNMP, and modern telemetry. And once we've walked through those pillars, we'll bring the entire curriculum home together. Here's how the next half hour unfolds. We'll start with the fundamentals, the vocabulary of observability, and why flows, counters, and telemetry each tell you something different. Then we'll get hands-on with the flow protocols, NetFlow, SFlow, and IPFX. From there, we trace the evolution from classic SNMP polling into modern streaming telemetry. And finally, we plant the flag, a capstone look back across all 60 lessons and everything you've built. So let's start with the foundation. You simply can't fix what you can't see, and modern networks demand 3 distinct layers of visibility. Metrics give you the heartbeat, counters and gauges over time, gathered with SNMP, GNMI, or Prometheus, perfect for trending and alerting. Flows answer the who talks to whom question through NetFlow, SFlow, and IPFX, your go-to for top talkers and forensics. And packets and traces, captured with Wireshark, TCP dump, or OpenTelemetry, give you the surgical detail when something truly strange is happening. Each layer answers a different question, and a mature operator runs all 3. Zooming in on that flows pillar, 3 protocols dominate the landscape, all chasing the same goal: summarizing traffic and shipping it to a collector. NetFlow, born at Cisco in '96, gives you rich per-flow state and accurate accounting, but pays for it in CPU. SFlow took the opposite bet, always sampled, lightweight, perfect for high-speed data center gear. And IPFX is the IETF's modern, vendor-neutral evolution with flexible templates. The record at the bottom shows what actually flies across the wire: source, destination, ports, byte counts. Multiply that by hundreds of thousands per minute, and you've got genuine traffic intelligence. Now shift back to the metrics pillar, because here a real generational change is underway. SNMP has served us faithfully since 1988. Manager polls agent, walks a MIB, parses some OIDs, but that poll model just doesn't scale to modern fleets. And you lose everything that happens between polls. Streaming telemetry flips it. The device pushes data over gRPC, structured by Yang models, with sub-second granularity across tens of thousands of nodes. Same pillar, fundamentally different physics. Zoom out, and all of these signals land in the same architectural pipeline. Devices emit at the collection layer: SNMP, NetFlow, GNMI, Syslog, all flowing in parallel. Agents like Telegraph or FluentD normalize that mess. Time series and log stores like Prometheus, InfluxDB, or ClickHouse hold it. Grafana or Kibana make it legible. And Alert Manager or PagerDuty turn anomalies into a phone buzzing at 3 in the morning. Collect, store, query, visualize, alert, that's the whole game. And before we close out observability, let's take a breath and look at the road behind you. 8 stages, 60 lessons, from the very first packet diagram in Foundations, through switching and the long climb of IP addressing and subnetting, into routing protocols, the services layer, security, wireless and WAN, and finally, cloud and modern networking. Every box on this slide is a skill you now own. One continuous mental model, built lesson by lesson. Picture it as a stack you can climb in either direction. At the base, foundations and switching move frames within a network. IP addressing and routing get packets across networks. Services glue it all together. Security wraps it in defense. Cloud and edge extend it everywhere. And intelligence, SDN, automation, observability, intent is what makes the whole thing self-aware. That's the complete mental model. Cable to cloud with a brain on top. And here's what that mental model translates into practically. Walking into 2026, you can design a multi-site enterprise WAN, configure VLANs, spanning tree and ether channel without flinching, stand up IPsec and TLS tunnels, and roll out Wi-Fi 6 or 7 with WPA3 Enterprise. On the right column, clean IPv4 and IPv subnetting at any scale, OSPF and BGP in production, zero trust microsegmentation, multi-cloud VPC architecture, and a real IPv4 migration plan. 10 concrete capabilities. That's a career-grade skill set. And those capabilities map directly onto real credentials. You're sitting at roughly 95% coverage of CompTIA network yet. Effectively exam ready. Just schedule the N1009. ccna is around 85%. Add some packet tracer reps and Cisco-specific syntax, and you're there. AWS Advanced Networking lands near 60%. The cloud fundamentals are in place. You'd layer on Direct Connect and AWS native specifics. And CCNP Enterprise at 45% gives you a serious head start on the professional track, with deep BGP, advanced OSPF, and SD-WAN as your next frontier. And with those certifications in reach, the question becomes, where do you actually take this? 6 directions open up from here. The traditional network engineer track lives in the 45 to 90,000 euro range, while cloud network engineers designing VPCs and hybrid connectivity push well past 120. Security, automation, SRE, and solutions architecture each represent a distinct flavor of the craft, with automation and SRE roles climbing toward 150 when you pair networking depth with code. Pick the one that genuinely excites you. The foundation you've built supports all 6. Before we close out, let's distill the entire journey into 8 ideas, one per stage, that genuinely change how you think about networks. Layers don't care about each other. Layer 2 is the fabric beneath your IPs, keeping loops out and traffic segmented. An IP is always a network and a host, with the mask drawing the line. Routers never know the whole internet, only the best next hop. Services like DNS, DHCP, and NAT are the invisible glue. Security is always layered, never singular. Modern WAN is hybrid, stitched together by SD-WAN. And cloud, SDN, and automation, they're reshaping everything, so learn it as code. And with that, we've reached the finish line. 60 lessons, 8 stages, somewhere around 840 slides. From the very first conversation about cables and signals all the way to cloud fabrics and observability pipelines. Thank you for spending this journey with me. Networking really is one of the most satisfying technical fields because every packet that successfully reaches its destination is genuinely a small engineering miracle. Stay curious, build labs, read the RFCs, and mentor someone new because the field will keep changing. And honestly, that's the fun of it. Before we fully close out, let me leave you with 5 anchors. And if you forget everything else, hold on to these. 1. Networks are layered, and every problem lives at a specific layer, so master the model. 2. Routing is about the next hop, never the whole path. 3. Security is defense in depth with zero trust as your modern baseline. 4. Modern networking is hybrid and software defined. Treat your network as code. And 5, observability is non-negotiable. Metrics, flows, and traces. If you can't measure it, you simply can't fix it. And here it is, your listen free cheat sheet, and effectively the cheat sheet for the entire journey. Observability rests on 3 pillars, metrics for counters over time through SNMP, GNMI, and Prometheus, flows for who talks to whom via NetFlow, SFlow, and IPFX, and packets for the deep inspection work in Wireshark and TCP dump. You've moved from legacy pull-based SNMP all the way to push-based streaming telemetry with Yang and OpenConfig, 60 lessons, 8 stages, 3 certifications well within reach, architecture, automation, cloud, security, troubleshooting. That's the skill set you now carry. So where do you go from here? Let's build a home lab with Even or Container Lab and break things on purpose. That's where real learning lives. Chase a certification, contribute to projects like FRR or Netbox, read the original RFCs, pick one specialty, and go deep, and then teach what you've learned, because explaining is how mastery solidifies. 60 lessons in, you're not a beginner anymore. Thank you for going the distance with me. Now go build something. I'll see you on the channel.